I'm standing here on the shores of one of the Great Lakes in North America. It's called Lake Huron. It's a beautiful lake with miles of white sandy beaches and very shallow swimming area. And so with the swimming area, because it's so shallow, there's often these sandbars, and so it'll gradually get deeper, and then it'll get shallower, and then it'll go deep again, and then get shallower, and so on, for several hundred meters out into the water. A couple days ago, Grant and I were swimming here, and I became aware of quite a large inflatable raft that was slowly drifting offshore because the wind was going offshore that particular day. And on this raft were two young women, probably teenagers, and they were dressed in full-length cotton dresses, indicating that they were probably part of some sort of religious group that the women dress very modestly. I watched it for a little while because it was getting deep and they seemed to be oblivious of where they were. And all of a sudden I saw a head come up, and they took a look around, and then they started to dog paddle back towards the shore because they didn't have a paddle. And I also noticed they also weren't wearing life jackets. So they were slowly paddling back to shore. I called out to them. I said, "Do you need any help?" And they said no, they were fine. And so they were gradually making some slow progress towards shore. And Grant and I decided that we were tired and it was time for us to go in. So we began to swim as well. And I looked up ahead of us, and one of them decided that they were going to hop off and help make the progress faster by pushing them into shore. She hopped off and promptly went right under the water because she didn't realize she was in one of the deeper areas between the two sandbars, and she couldn't touch the bottom of the lake. Well, fortunately, she was able to grab hold of the string that went around the raft, and her friend then grabbed her, and she came up sputtering and gasping for air. Well, at this point, they were in quite a pickle because now the gal who was in the water was unable to get back on top, and the one that was holding her was unable to paddle, and so they were going to then drift out from shore again. And so we said, "Do you need help now?" And they said, "Yes, I think we do." And so Grant and I swam over, and we couldn't touch the bottom either, so we proceeded to help swim and push the raft into shore to where they would be able to touch. And in the process, we found out that neither of these girls knew how to swim. So they had got themselves into a very dangerous predicament. No life jacket, no paddle, on an inflatable raft that was being pushed out from shore, and not knowing how to swim. They were in a life-threatening situation. It got us to thinking about how so often we go through our lives and we're dealing with relationship issues, we're dealing with bitterness or unforgiveness or worries or thinking patterns that we can't change, and someone will come along and we say, "Can I help you?" And we say, no, just fine, we can handle it, we're managing this on our own. And then we proceed to try to push through it even more, but begin to feel like we're drowning in the pain, drowning in the hurt, drowning in the problems that seem to overwhelm, until finally we reach out and we say, "Okay, I need help, and someone please come and help me." We want to lift off of you any shame in asking for help. There is no shame in saying, "Yes, I can't do this on my own. I need support in working this through." And it's a good idea to ask for help from a counselor, from your pastor, from a prayer minister, from a close friend who can give you a different perspective on the situation, pray with you through it, offer you advice, wisdom, counsel, any of those things, so that we can deal with all the stuff that we try and manage on our own, when in actual fact we should be asking for help. So we want to encourage you that to live a transformed life, it's okay to ask the body that Christ created for us to be a help. We're supposed to be interdependent, not independent from them. So this week we want to hear from you. So write in the comment box below how you have been helped by someone else coming alongside and giving you assistance to deal with your stuff. And if this is your first visit here, there's a subscription form right there out in the middle of the lake, and you can fill that in, and Grant will send you the free self-assessment guide. We'll talk to you again next week.